It's September the 2nd today, and yesterday Milwordy kicked off and we had a live stream which was amazing, and I got 3,700 words, I think it was. So I'm feeling really good about that. I haven't fully decided what I'm doing with the Milwordy. Like, I want to aim for the million. I have a plan that could potentially get me the million. It would involve a lot, basically giving up a lot of the other stuff that I do outside of work. The plan for today is we're going to go do some food shopping, then we're going to start actual work, my 9 to 5 stuff. But I did some extra hours last week, so I'm hoping that I can leave a little bit earlier today and then try and get in another block of writing. I've got a saved playlist of some of the Pomodoro sprints that people do. I think Kate Kavanagh has some of them, so I might do some Pomodoros this afternoon and see if I can get some more in. Oh, I'm so tired though. Tried to not have coffee yesterday because I think it's affecting my sleep. I do feel kind of bad because on one of Kate Kavanagh's Instagram she asked for writer stereotypes, and I said that, or writer stereotypes that people didn't necessarily like, and I said that the idea that we're all addicted to coffee, but I think I'm becoming that. She says desperately wanting coffee because she's tired. I'm still doing Space Pirates 3 draft 1, so it's the draft after my 0 draft, and then hopefully for the Milwordy ultimate plan, sometime this month I'll also start outlining book 4 for a 0 draft. So I've kind of given myself like 10,000 words to do outlines with, which I think is about what I do usually, and I've got what I think is about another 40,000 on the current draft, so the aim is to write that this month, which is 50,000, which is a nano, and then the next few months to do a 50,000 word draft and a 10,000 word outline for the next book each month until like December. Might go a bit mad. Oh well. Let's see how it goes. What's the worst that can happen, eh?
I'm in the living room at the moment because my partner is still working for the day, but I'm done, so writing. My current thinking for Milwordy is based on the idea that I have a certain number of words I want to write per book, and then I'm assuming that I can do about 40 words per minute each time I do it, but that's my average. And then from that I can then work out how many like 20-minute sprints that I would need to do that particular project. So everything is based on 20-minute writing sprints, and then I've found a Kate Kavanagh writing sprint from a little while ago that is 20-minute writing sprints. So this may have worked out perfectly. It does go on for about 3 hours, so I don't know if I'll do the whole 3 hours, but and yes, my mug does say the boss. No, I'm not the boss of anyone, but I love it, and it's huge, so that's what I need. It is decaf though. I think I said this morning that I'm trying to cut down on the amount of caffeine I'm drinking because I'm not sleeping too well, but got some mint coffee, work is done, time to try and get some words in, I think. It's the 3rd of September today. I did do some of the Pomodoro sprints yesterday. I did one of them is writing, so doing the Space Pirates book 3 draft 1. I think I got about 900 and something words in, so that's good. I did everything else on my outline for Space Pirates 4 draft 0, and I managed to get quite a few words in for that. I think I got about 2,500 in that in the end. And then just now I have done what is probably the longest sprint I've done in a very long time. I found a video that was a kind of study with me rather than a writing video, and it's just got like ambient music on, which I usually listen to some kind of music anyway when I'm writing, but it kind of words, so it worked. And it was 45 minutes on, 15 minutes off, so I did a 45-minute sprint, and I didn't feel too bad. Recently I've been doing like 20-minute, 25-minute sprints, and usually by like the 22, 23-minute mark I am drained a bit. But I seem to just kind of go through. I don't know if the scene itself was kind of just good and just got me through it, or what really. But one of my things is to try and get my stamina back up, because I feel like lockdown's kind of ruined it. But I also convinced myself when I filmed the first few videos for this channel that I would wear makeup on any day that I was filming, and I've given up already from the beginning of this vlog. So I don't look any more put together than I have done the last few days. I think with like lockdown and stuff, I think I'm getting more used to seeing myself in like a little viewfinder camera-y kind of thing without makeup on. I'm just kind of getting used to how it looks, and I can't bring the effort needed to actually do my face up, so we're gonna go with this. I think I'm about 8,500 in, which is not bad for a few days. I think that might be the last thing I do of writing today. I've spent some time organising these clips together and trying to work out a system for keeping track of which day I'm on, what's happening, so that I don't film a random chunk of video and put it in the wrong time in the month. So this is very new to me still, I'm learning with it all. But yeah, the plan is tomorrow, which is Friday, to try and get some more writing done, but I will be nicer to myself if I don't manage to on a Friday, because me and my partner have a thing where we sit and we watch a nice film on a Friday night and have some good food and just kind of chill from the work week. So I'm not going to bash myself about too much. But then on Saturday we are going to see my parents, so the whole of Saturday is pretty much clocked out for writing. I could write before we go down, but we're probably going to leave early-ish, so I might just see how I wake up and see whether I can get some done before I go. And then Sunday might have to be my day to just bash out a load of words. I'm going to try and do some of my like other goal things this evening, I think, because actually this week's been pretty good for writing, because I got most of my like weekly goals out of the way at the weekend. I kind of ran through a good number of things that I had ready, because I set my goals on the Saturday and I bashed through a bunch of them, and then because we had a bank holiday Monday this week, I basically had a 3-day weekend to just get everything else out of the way, so that from September I could kind of do the Milwordy thing. But I'm going to have to try and tackle some of those other goals next week, so it might not be as good. And I'm also working a weekend next weekend, so we'll see what happens in terms of days I can have off in turn, and see if I can get any writing done. Or whether I just crash and burn next week. Might crash and burn. I might try it on Sunday to actually film a video about Milwordy, if I can 100% be confident on what I am going to aim for, because I'm not. It keeps changing in my head. Okay, it's kind of late, it's kind of dark in here, the lighting is terrible. It is Monday, yeah, it's Monday the 7th. I haven't updated over the weekend, so on Saturday we went and saw my parents, so we did a lot of driving, and then when we got home we were also doing a family WhatsApp call, so I didn't get any writing done or anything on Saturday. And then yesterday my foot really started playing up, so I have occasionally tendonitis in my toe, and it was just pain all day. So I admit I spent a lot of it elevating my foot and watching TV rather than doing anything. I just could not make myself do it all while I was in the level of pain I was, so we didn't do that. I've done a little bit extra work than I should have done to try and get some stuff done. I feel like this week is going to probably be 9 to 5 heavy. Can't be helped, it's one of those things. I have had some dinner. I have myself a massive bottle of water because I've not been drinking water recently. So I'm going to try and finish all of that this evening as well. I'm going to finish Kate's video, and then I might put on the 45-minute to 15-minute Pomodoros I found the other day. It was kind of like, I think it was a study with me, but it had this really nice kind of ambient music going on, and it had a 45-minute timer, and then the 15 minutes had nothing in terms of sound. Might put one of those on, try and do 45 minutes. In my plans I've been saying if I do 20 minutes on and a 10-minute off, I'm going to count that to half an hour. So if I do 45, I can count that as an hour's work, which I might want to do more of. And then I'm going to see how I feel. Should really do 2 hours tonight, but I'm not sure. I appear to be recording this now as a pure procrastination tool. So I'm going to turn you off, finish off this video, and then I'm going to get set for the evening. So it might be best, I might just wrap up in a blanket. I might even turn some of the lights down a little bit and just try and write. I think that's the plan. Okay. It is the 15th of September. I have just filmed myself a little Milwordy video, so I'm going to maybe try and edit that today. I put my first AuthorTube video out yesterday and got like 3 comments overnight, which was amazing. I wasn't expecting anyone to find it. I didn't post it anywhere or publicise it at all or anything. I did try and make more of an effort today, and I put candles here, but I think it just looks weird now. I need to work out my backdrop. There is a possibility that I might try and rearrange the study a little bit. Or not rearrange it, but I might try and sit in front of my bookshelves for the next one. I think that might be more interesting than this. For anyone wondering, it's like electronic piano behind me. We don't have an actual cover for it, but we do have a spare bedsheet. So nothing sums me up more than the idea of an electric piano being covered by an old bedsheet. So I've filmed that. I've got today off from work. It's a Tuesday, but I worked the weekend. I kind of struggle with weekend working. So essentially I did like 3 days at the beginning of last week, had a day off, but there's something about like individual days off. You don't get as much rest as you would if you had 2 days. So I have filmed the Milwordy video, but I know that I am now stupidly behind the Milwordy, so that's fun. I think I last updated on the 7th of September, and according to my spreadsheet I maybe did one sprint after that. So between the 8th and today's the 15th I have written nothing, which doesn't feel great. Last week work got mad, so I won't necessarily say what job I do, but I do work in higher education, which in September is not fun. September is always the month where like I try not to plan too many things to do because I know I'm going to get hit with a bunch of work, which is just the way of it. So I worked last weekend, and the Thursday before I had kind of essentially like a swap day for the Saturday, and I blitzed through a bunch of my other goals that weren't writing. I did a bunch of like my online learning courses, and I tried touch typing, which feels strange. I might do a video and try and see if touch typing improves my writing. I doubt it will. Or at least my writing speed, probably not my writing. And then today I've got off. I'm gonna attempt to get some writing in, but I'm also meeting up with a friend this afternoon as socially distanced as possible to have a bit of a chat and catch up. I haven't done like even the socially distanced chat with any like with my friends that much. I've now gone and seen my parents and my partner's parents, and that's probably the most contact I've had since we went to lockdown in March, which feels strange. So that should be nice later, but I'm going to try and get some writing in. I think I do. I think I need to. Where am I in terms of Milwordy? Let's have a look. I've written 15,000 words in 15 days, which doesn't sound too bad, but considering I haven't written for most of those days, and considering the daily word count for Milwordy is supposed to be a lot higher than that. So yeah, I think I'm going to need to. The problem is that my temptation is really strongly to edit the Milwordy video. I did spend some time this morning trying to catch up with the author tube writers retreat though. It landed on my weekend working, which wasn't ideal, but I am also aware that this is my like one day off for another few days, and because where I had the one day off last week, I know that I don't recharge as much from having one day off as I would have from two. I need to be a little bit careful with myself, because what I would like ideally is to get to the weekend and be able to spend like Saturday blitzing a load of words. I'd like to try and attempt, I'm not going to say 10k day because that never goes well for me. 5k day? I could do a 5k day. I may have to start paring back some of my other goals. You think I would have thought about that when I thought about writing 1 million words in a year, but apparently I didn't. I've downloaded a new app for productivity and organisation called Notion, and you can do databases in it, which I don't know how to explain to you my love of databases and Excel spreadsheets and charts, and you can make the database look more like kind of corkboard, so you can move things through the process. So I'll be able to just go and move my Milwordy video from like the prepped column to the filmed column, which will be fun. And in there I'm able to like put in the idea for the video, and then there's like, it comes up with a little page and you can put notes in. So I was using that to kind of prep all the things I wanted to say, which was, I think, made the filming of it a lot easier than the AuthorTube one where I attempted just rambling. Okay, now I feel like what I am doing is sitting here and talking to you guys as a procrastination tool for not having to do the actual things I want to do. Do I want to do it? No, what I want to do is get a big old mug of coffee and sit and watch Bones all day. But I can't do it. These 1 million words don't just come from sitting on your arse and doing nothing, Nikki. Okay, on that note. Oh, wasn't I saying earlier about trying to be kind to myself, and now I'm telling myself to not sit on her arse all day? Anyway, I'm going to sign off and go and try and do something useful.
the 29th of September. I actually did 4 hours worth of writing. It's just mad. I was not expecting to get through quite so much of that. I thought maybe I'd do an hour and then I'd kind of get tired out because of doing work earlier. And so I said before about not having like individual writing sprint stamina. That's gone all out the window. But I also not been able to do like long periods of it for a long time. So I've been able to do like maybe a couple of 20-minute sprints and then I am done. And I just did 4 hours worth of 45-minute sprints. In my breaks I was getting up and like tidying the house or something, and I was keeping entirely like in the world, which is so unusual for me. Usually my brain will immediately switch to another thing as soon as I'm done with something. It is really, really strange. So being able to do 4 hours straight through, I did 7,700 words. From my like recent experience, that's just madness. I feel like I used to be able to do this. I feel like I used to, like in my university years, if I sat down to write for 2 hours, I'd get like 5k out, and I don't know how I did it, but I just used to do it. And when I was like a kid, I'd just write, and it was rubbish writing, but I'd be able to get the drafting out, and it started to feel a little bit more like that today. I started to feel like I connected a bit more with the characters, and I think it helps that we are past the midpoint and we're starting to get into the like actually interesting stuff. So also a lot of my scenes are kind of jumping around and changing. I originally started writing this series with like an omnipotent third person voice, but in this book I've kind of stuck to like going into individual heads and sticking the whole scene in someone's head. And I think I might prefer it, which might mean a bunch of editing work on the first 2 books, but no idea how I did that. So ignore the really cozy blanket around me. I have gone entirely for comfy. It's Monday the 21st of September, but I did 2 45-minute sprints, one of which actually was 47 minutes because I went a bit above and beyond. So I really do feel like I'm getting some stamina back, which is really, really good. I do tend to prefer like 20 minutes on, 5 minutes off, but I'm wondering whether 45 minutes ones are kind of good because I can usually get about 2,000 words-ish out, which is about a chapter for what I'm doing at the moment. So I can kind of push through a bit of a chapter and sometimes like just start the next one, which is ideal because I don't like leaving at the end of the chapter because it makes it a lot harder to come back and write it again. But I did in total 4,449 words off those 2 sprints, which is pretty damn good. The first sprint I was like at 50 words per minute and the other one was like 46 words per minute. I usually can tell if my second sprint is a lot lower in like the words per minute rate, that I'm not going to get much better by doing another round of it. It's not going to improve. Usually I'll do the first sprint, second sprint will be a bit better, third one maybe might peak and then it might start going off. So it's probably a sign that I'm getting to a point where I might need to chill. I am most definitely getting to like the interesting part. I am Dark Night of the Soul. Got my big bad for this particular book. He is most definitely threatening the situation, which is a hell of a lot of fun. And also because I run flashbacks alongside, my flashback stuff is getting to the really, really interesting part. It's not yesterday, but like Saturday and today, there's been something about the way I've been writing. I tend to underwrite, so I don't tend to have a lot of like description in there or like introspection-y parts in there, and I feel like I'm getting a lot more of that out. And I don't know if it's because over the last maybe 2 months I've like read a lot more, and I think maybe I'm internalising the way other people do it. I think there might be something to the fact that I'm reading more and it's making me doubt myself a little less. Like I feel like I can compete with some of the things, which is very interesting. So I have 10 chapters left, probably about 20k left, which would take me to about 70. The last chapter, as like the final image, might be a lot shorter because I tend to have less scenes going on and I tend to just like really kind of round it out. I'll have a lot of wind down before that, hopefully, as well. I'm not going to push myself on it, but the plan so far is to try and do 8 hours worth of writing this week. And I've just done 2. So the thinking is I'll try and do a 2-hour sprint tomorrow, maybe a 1 hour on Wednesday because I have my D&D game in the evening, and then maybe another 2 hours Thursday, like an hour on Friday. Saturday we are visiting family, got a birthday, and then Sunday we're home, so I might try and catch up with some writing then. Wasn't bad though. I quite like it when I come out of a writing session and I don't feel like super drained or everything I've just written is rubbish and will need to be rewritten. I feel like a lot of that could stay, which is nice to feel on a first draft, because for me first drafts are essentially like the plot works, and maybe there might be some like scene changes, or there might be like the occasional scene where I take it out or try something new, but the overall plot, I'm hoping by the end of book one, end of draft one, works, and I think it does, which is nice. And I should probably have worked that out by the time I get to chapter 30, but you know, it's better late than never, isn't it? This is the other thing, because I've set myself like a September word goal and then an October word goal, but I do my weekly planning or my like overall goal planning at the end, always at a weekend, unless I finish everything beforehand. It's always a weekend. So I'm going to take the whole of this week, which will give me up to the 27th, and then I'm probably going to take the whole of next week, which will put me up to the 4th of October, which is not technically then part of September. But those like first few days, I'm not going to be too worried if I use those for September plans. So I have 2 weeks left to do it, and originally I had planned to have the last week be entirely outlining the book 4, which would mean I'd have to do more this week if I was going to do that, I think. So I think what I might do is, if I start getting burned out like later in the week, or any of my sprints become a bit too much to do just pure writing, I might sneak it in as like a break from what I'm doing. I think that might be a good plan. Okay, I'm shutting up now. We are back in my dark corner of my living room. For reference, it is Monday the 28th of September, and I finished the draft of my book. I finished it. I finished Space Pirates 3 draft 1. I was not expecting to finish it today. I have in fact booked in like another 4 hours worth of writing this week, but the last few chapters just kind of came through like really snappy, and I just felt like I was going to bulk them out if I carried on, so finished it. With that in hand, that's about 39,000 I've added to Milwordy, which is pretty good. I haven't actually updated this particular vlog in a while. I've had a couple of weird headspace days, quite a few of the days in the last like week or so. So I have been writing, but I've just not wanted to pull out a camera. I must say, the 45-minute sprints have been, in some cases, absolutely horrible for me, but in other cases have worked so well. I think it's very much a mood thing, but I think if I can get like a decent candle on and put like one on with some nice music, I can do a couple without it being too onerous, which gives me like 2 hours of writing in an evening, which is so unusual for me these days. Does mean that I can tick that time off of my calendar and now start focusing on my outline for book 4, and that will be draft 0. Really wasn't expecting to make that kind of an update tonight. I don't know how I feel. I think I've earned myself potentially a hot chocolate, maybe even some popcorn. Okay, I'm gonna sign off though. Well, that was September. It is now over, and I thought I'd do like a little wrap up to show where we are at the end of it. So for Milwordy, I have added 43,138 words. It wasn't entirely what I wanted for a goal, but my plan has September, October, November kind of gearing up towards some bigger months. Should be able to make that up, that shouldn't be a problem. And I wrote in total, just including the sprints that I did, for 16.1 hours. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's some progress. Overall, it's been a very busy work month, and I knew that was going to happen. It always happens in September, so hopefully I'll be able to get some more words in other months when it calms down a lot. Do drop a comment below if you have also been doing Milwordy to let me know how your month's gone, and otherwise I'll see you in the next video.